I kind of can't believe I'm saying it, but it is update day, my dudes. Minecraft 1.20.5. Our story with this update begins all the way back on December 18th of 2023 with the very first snapshot. But actually, in a way, our story with this update takes us even farther back, all the way to Minecraft Live 2023. At Minecraft Live 2023, the crab, the armadillo, and whatever that other one was, those were the options and the armadillo won. We didn't know at the time, but that would set the theme for 1.20.5. Now, this is one of Minecraft's longest developed updates in recent history, with a total of 15 snapshots, 4 pre-releases, and 2 release candidates before release. This update, of course, you have to have heard by now. It's the Dillo and Dog update. Now, from armadillos to the new dogs to even more, we're going to go over everything in today's video. And for Waddle members, alongside this video, I'll be dropping a world download as well. Tap that join button for a little more info, and let's get right into the update. First things first today, listen. Oh, it's brand new. It's brand new and squishier sounding than ever before. The cobweb, in time for Minecraft 1.21's new potion, it got an update. Brand new sounds. When it comes to the rest of the cobweb, break time, everything like that, it's all exactly the same. Next up, I need you to be honest. Seriously, when was the last time you did anything with the Minecraft turtle? No offense, but I feel like little buddy is a little bit forgotten about. You find the turtle, you make them make sweet love, you get the turtle egg, you give it a little bit of time, and what do you get? Well, as of this update, you don't actually get Scoot anymore. No. Instead, Turtle Scoot. This item has been renamed to make way for something else that's a little bit of a spoiler for later in the video. Later, as in now. Oh my god, I can't believe we're witnessing it, but the most adorable Minecraft mob of all time, the armadillo, has made it into Minecraft. It's not part of 1.21, no. Instead, it's part of the Minecraft Java 1.20.5 update, or over on Bedrock 1.20.80, which, by the way, I'll have a video for that update too. It's a little different. Anyways, the armadillo. The armadillo is honestly just so perfect. The animations on this little guy, they are so good. Like, if you watch this little buddy actually walk, he kind of like waddles and shakes side to side. If you run near the armadillo, it's very timid. It'll ball up into a ball and kind of like just sit there. You stop running, eventually it'll pop back out. If you wanted to maybe say like attempt the armadillo, maybe make a baby armadillo, which by the way gets even tinier than this little guy who's already really small, go ahead and feed them spider eye. Give it a second. It's so small, I can't even. It's so small. Oh, and if you want to find this thing, that's a very important part of it, of course. Head over to your local savanna biome or the Badlands biome as well. But when you head over to those biomes, absolutely 100% don't forget an archaeology brush. You see, you're going to want to bring the brush with you over to the Savannah or Badlands biome with your armadillo friend, so you can actually like brush the buddy. You'll get a brand new advancement. We'll talk a little bit more about the new advancements later on in the video as well. But anyways, use the brush on the armadillo for a brand new item called Armadillo Scoot. Now, when it comes to Minecraft's newest little tiny friend, there's actually quite a bit of information to it. For even more on the armadillo, check out my Everything series guide on the armadillo right after this video. I made it just in time for this update. We talk about farms, little secret things, and more. Back over at our hub for this update video today, let's take a look at the next item, and of course, that's going to be Armadillo Scoot, the big reason Turtle Scoot was renamed. Inside of a crafting table with Armadillo Scoot, you're going to be able to craft something. But I think before we talk about that other something, maybe let's talk about the thing that gets even more hyped than the armadillo in this update, and oh my god, I can't believe it. The brand new Minecraft dogs, 8 of them, they're here. So you go ahead and make a brand new world and everything starts the same. Spawn into your world, find that tree, go ahead and hit that tree, then maybe wander over to the local forest biome because this is probably going to be the most common biome. I guess it kind of depends on your world spawn, but anyways, once you make it over to the forest, take a look around because before too long, you should be able to find the very first brand new dog variant to look at this thing. You're going to have to get used to this buddy because of how Minecraft biomes work, and you know, the forest biome being a pretty common biome in the grand scheme of things. This new brown wolf right here is probably going to become the most common wolf in the entire game. But you're a big fan of the classic wolf, you say. Well, don't worry, no big deal. You want to get your hands on one of those ones? All you need to do is locate the taiga biome, another biome that's really not that uncommon in the grand scheme of things. You'll be able to find the classic, now called the pale wolf, inside of this biome. Oh, the bigotry taiga biomes. This is where things really heat up. We've got two technically different variants of them. In one of them, you're gonna find the chestnut wolf. In the other variant, that's very similar looking, but this time the tree's got that long neck and small hair up top, you'll be able to find the black wolf. Ah, yes, the grove biome. My least favorite biome of all time. Maybe not. But anyways, there's a brand new wolf here. This one is probably the most uncommon one. You see, all of these wolves will spawn in what's called the different pack sizes. This snowy wolf will always spawn in a pack size of 1, so it's on its own inside of the grove biome with powdered snow on the ground, and let's just say, maybe the dogs aren't exactly the best against powder snow, if you get my drift. A little bit more safe. Right next door, we've got this snowy taiga biome. Inside of that, we got a husky. Look at this thing. It's so adorable. The only thing I would change about it is those clean blue eyes, but like, no big deal. It's pretty good from the start. While you make your way over to the savanna biome for the armadillo, take a second and look around for this orange and black and white spotted wolf. This one is so cool looking, and honestly, maybe one of the best out of all of the new wolves. Another place you can look for the armadillo is the Badlands, remember? Also inside of the Badlands, you can find this new wolf that is based off of the hyena. That's a really cool looking coat too, and even better, these things spawn in massive pack sizes of 4 to 8. And last but not least, back over near home sweet home for today, inside of the sparse jungle biome, the rusty wolf. Now, just like I did for the armadillo, I also have an in-depth guide to these brand new beautiful dogs, everything you want to know about them, including breeding and even more. And so next up, check out that video too as well. And real quick, if you're enjoying today's update showcase, tap that like button. It helps me out huge time. Now keep the dogs in mind for a second, because we're actually going to circle back around to them in just a second. But next up, before that, parrots. Oh, I almost hate to even look at this one. And the bee. Both of the parrot and the bee have received a little bit of an AI update inside of this update. The update with these two flying mobs has to do with, well, exactly that. Their flying mechanics. So previously, they would kind of sometimes overshoot a target. Maybe you could be the target if it's a tamed parrot or a bee and you're carrying a flower. Or even just speaking of flowers, the flower could be the target. You can kind of notice right here, the bee is flying like a little bit more gently and slowly down to the flower. I believe that's the new AI. Fans of automation rejoice, because inside of this update, the hopper has been optimized. Gone are the days of putting composter over the hopper to stop it from checking for things and lagging your world. From this day on, no longer will a hopper try and pick items up if you have a block above it, and it could be any block in the world. Solid block above the hopper, and, well, I mean, there's no way to show that it's trying to not pick up the item, but it's definitely not trying to pick up the item. Now, on the other hand, fans of other automatic farms, don't worry at all. Say maybe like your standard automatic bamboo or sugarcane farm that utilizes mud on the ground. Yeah, hoppers can still pick up items clean through mud. It's no big deal at all. Same exact thing is going to go for if you have a bee farm with beehives or bee nests. The hopper will still be able to pull items out of these blocks as well. Yeah, for the most part, you shouldn't notice any difference when you're actually interacting with the hopper. It should just be smoother. Next up, it's back over to the wolves. Let's say I'm updating my world to Minecraft 1.20.5. Like, I've previously had a world. When I load that world up, first things first, before you do anything in this update, you're going to want to find your dog and double check its tail. Because inside of this update, dog's health has been actually doubled, which should mean that your current dog that used to have 20 health and now has 40, well, it's going to have 20 health to begin with. Basically, what I'm saying is find your dog, double check, make sure its health is doing good, and if it's not, feed it any kind of food in the world to go ahead and heal your dog up. However, at the same time, maybe you don't even need to worry about that. Just go in ASAP, find an armadillo, do a little bit of brushing with the buddy until you have 6 armadillos scoot. That's going to be a total of 2 brushes unless you enchant the thing, and you'll get your hands on that brand new wolf armor. The most overpowered armor in the entire game, no joke. Once you've crafted the wolf armor, find your tamed dog, head over to the buddy, and use the armor on the dog to equip it. If you ever want to unequip it, use a pair of shears on the dog for an advancement in the armor. Now, the overpoweredness comes into play when we start to put this dog in unfortunately dangerous circumstances, like, for example, creeper blows up. Take a look at this dog. The tail is its health indicator, but the tail hasn't gone down at all. Instead, the armor has a couple of cracks on it. Let's say next up, accidentally, poor buddy catches himself on fire somehow. I don't know how I did that. Well, if that happens, don't worry. The dog may be panicking, but he actually didn't feel a single thing. The armor is taking all the damage first. Now, this is actually pretty crazy overpowered, because this is also going to translate to even something like, say, fall damage as well. the armor will soak up all of the fall damage before the dog will. But however, you can notice that this dog has been a little bit through it. At this point, the armor is cracked up. To fix the armor, first have your dog sit down, then with Armadillo scoot in hand, walk up to the dog and use the Armadillo scoot on it while the armor is on the dog, and it'll actually slowly heal it up. You can see the cracks slowly disappearing. That means the armor is repaired. You'll know you've done the job fully once you get an advancement and can no longer use any more Armadillo scoot on the dog. Dog armor is one of those things we went a little bit more in depth on in that dog guide video, and yeah, just in general, this thing is so overpowered, but it is so good. Now back over in the old snapshot world for this update, which by the way, I might put out for channel members as a world download as well. Back over inside of this world for the next change, the dog, its collar has been updated inside of this update. As you probably noticed at some point in today's video, the collar looks different, and yeah, instead of just being like a 2D thing on the face of the dog, it actually wraps around the side as well now, and the color shading is better looking and more clean than ever before. But that's not the only thing to do with dyes and dogs. Go ahead and take that wolf armor back over to the crafting table on Minecraft Java, throw it inside of it, and then start putting dyes inside of it as well, and you'll find that you are able to dye this armor just like you can dye any other leather armor in the entire game. That means mixing and matching any dye in the world to create the perfect gray armor? Well, yeah, it's definitely possible. You could dye this armor like an insanely insane amount of colors in the game. Now, if you dyed the armor and you change your mind on it, on Minecraft Java and Bedrock, walk over to a water cauldron that is plain water, and you can go ahead and reset it right back to brand new. The now total 9 different coats for the dog, plus the updated collars, plus the fact that you have grown-up and a baby wolf, plus the fact that you have uncolored armor or a bunch of colors for it, and there is like, I think it's like over 16 million different ways you could have your dog looking. Maybe even more, to be honest. It's pretty crazy. Speaking of dogs, llamas, they will now no longer be able to break an armor stand with their spit. Hey, earlier on, we were talking about the Grove, do you remember? Well, back over to this place for the next change of this update. The change has to do with the mob spawning inside of this biome. So, of course, you're going to have those brand new wolves, but then the Arctic foxes and the rabbits, their spawning amount has been adjusted as well. Keep in mind that if you want to see either of those mobs, you're going to need to hurry your way over to the Grove ASAP stat, because that wolf is the pinnacle of the food chain here and will take all of the other mobs out. Getting a little bit more technical here, pick blocking. If I hold down control and press the middle mouse button, I just pick blocked this chest. And right off the bat, if you're familiar with pick blocking, maybe you noticed the big difference. But previously, I had a named chest that's called Robert, and when I pick blocked it, I actually got a named chest now. Another big difference here, let's say I had a chest with some stuff inside of it, I go ahead and pick block the chest. Then I take a look at the NBT data for this thing, and it doesn't say in pink, purple, magenta, plus NBT. However, if I go ahead and place the chest down, I will find that yes, indeed, it did definitely copy the chest. It's a small thing, but it's definitely a thing. And speaking of small things, gigantic large things, this update is maybe one of the most technical updates of all time, because NBT tags, you thought you finally had them all down, well, they're gone. Instead, we're talking about components here. Scrolling on screen is the Minecraft wiki with a bunch of information on components, and then a bunch of information on attributes, and there is so much and a little bit more. Unfortunately, if you are a data pack user or creator, this does mean that there's a good chance that your data pack has unfortunately broken in this update, so you're either going to need to update it or wait for the creator of that pack to go ahead and update it. However, this stuff is meant to be a little bit more straightforward and easy to use, and I mean, I'm not the most technical person, but I believe there is new stuff that wasn't really possible before. While we're talking about more technical things, I suppose we might as well pause the game, and oh my god, that is so different. I'm still not used to it, and it's been in snapshots for a while now, but inside of the menu, dirt.png, it's completely gone. Instead, when you pause the game, it's going to get this clean blur now. Now, in the menu, slide into accessibility settings, and you'll find this new option right here, menu background blur. Go ahead and increase it, and the blur gets even more blurry, or go ahead and decrease it all the way down to 0 or off for no blur at all. With the no blur, to be honest, it just looks wrong, like pausing the game and it's like that. I don't know. If you're really missing dirt.png, well, good news. It's in the developer resources pack. Now, that is not the only screen that has been changed. This one might be quick, depending on how fast the nether loads, but check out what happens when I jump into a portal. When I jump in, it starts wobbling like normal, but then as soon as it's loading the nether, we get a purple loading terrain screen instead of the dirt one before. Same thing is going to happen when you go through the nether portal going back into the overworld. You get the purple portal. That one's clean and beautiful and all, however, this one might be even better. Now, this one is usually really quick. I'll slow down the footage, but you jump into the end portal and loading terrain. Do you see that right there? It's like the void texture. You can see it's subtly animated. It's clean, but it actually matches that sweet end-dimension aesthetic. It's so good looking. Only on Minecraft Java, this update is the potion update as well. So when I go ahead and drink a potion now, instead of having the particle have like more of a generic color or colors blended together, the color of the particle is actually going to match the color of whatever the potion was in the bottle. Let's say this dark blue one right here, we go ahead and drink it, and now we're going to have a dark blue particles as well as the yellow ones from Jump Boost. So that's another new thing too. The particles are actually the potion color, and they're not blending. This is going to mean at one time you can have up to 8 different colored particles coming from you if you have like a bunch of different effects applied. And say like a PvP situation in the future, this is going to be really useful. You'll be able to tell if somebody has resistance when they're running at you, or maybe like strength or whatever. If you're Bedrock Gang and you've watched all the way through this video, well, thank you. And this potion change, it's not in 1.20.80. Instead, that's going to be in 1.21. Next up, advancements. Over the course of today's video, we've actually seen 3 different brand new advancements, but there is a 4th one. The first advancement is going to be for brushing an armadillo. After that, go ahead and make wolf armor, put it on your dog, and repair it for the good as new one. For taking the armor off of your dog using a pair of shears, you'll get sheer brilliance. And then finally, and this will be the most difficult advancement to get out of all of them, go into your world, find all the 9 dog variants, tame them, and make them yours. And once you get that, you'll get the whole pack advancement. This might not be the only time Minecraft has added advancements in a minor update, but I just love that they added so many advancements in this minor update that has like actually quite an interesting theme. I hope going into the future, like later this year, this summer, maybe more minor updates will be as fire as this one. And so, last but not least, and it's kind of hard to say like last when there's so many technical changes, but so many technical changes inside of this update. And inside of this update, a total of 195 different bug fixes. There are so many bug fixes in this update, a lot of the stuff having to do with technical stuff, but some of it having to do with gameplay things too. For example, quite a few boss bar fixes, the hopper fix that we talked about earlier on, some banner tweaks and adjustments, and quite a few lighting fixes as well. So yeah, it's safe to say 1.20.5 is a technical update just as much as it is a brand new exciting update all about armadillos and dogs. It's amazing. However, that is actually not everything inside of 1.20.5. We do have a little bit of 1.21 as well. Next up, we're going to take a look at some of the experimental changes in this update real quick. If you want more depth on the experimental changes, then check out this video right after this one, because in that one, it's all about 1.21 and what's coming to the game soon. For those of you wondering, 1.21 still doesn't have a release date, and if you want to check these out in your world, in the world settings, before you make your world, you can't do it on an old world, you need to turn on update 1.21. So since 1.20.3 or 1.20.4, there has been quite a few new expansions to Minecraft 1.21. First things first, we've got a couple brand new shards you're going to be able to find in the update. You'll find all of these inside of the trial chambers, just like you'll find these brand new banner patterns as well. The banner patterns, we've got Flow, which is the spiral, and then we've got Guster right there. Maybe that's the best name in the entire game. There will also be 2 brand new armor trims you'll be able to find in the trial chambers as well. And one of them is called Flow, the other one is called Bolt. I believe this is Bolt, and then Flow is the one with like this squiggles, the wind design going on. Out of the 2, I think now, current day, I like Flow a little bit more. Now, the trial chambers is the big thing about this thing, and of course, you probably remember the trial spawner. In this update, the trial spawner has gotten the huge update, and the vault has been added. In 1.20.5, find yourself a trial chamber, and alongside all of the actual proper like layout changes and everything, you're gonna find a lot of smaller details that have been changed as well inside of the structure. Like for example, many of the chests, but definitely not all, but many of the chests they used to generate in the trial chamber, well, they've now been replaced with the vault that you're gonna need to get the trial key to actually unlock. Now, the vault is going to be a huge part of 1.21. It's essentially a chest that multiple people can loot. I use a trial key on the vault, then I'm going to go ahead and get items, and then it's done for me, but somebody else that isn't me could do that and get different things. Oh boy, this is a big update too. There's also a little thing called the wind charge. It'll cancel fall damage and also let you jump super high if you want to. Layout changes is a whole topic for another time because the trial chamber structure has been totally redone when it comes to the layout of the structure. If you were familiar with it before, well, no, I guess it's familiar, but it's actually really completely different. There's also a more difficult version of the challenge called the Ominous Trial. There's an Ominous Vault, an Ominous Trial Spawner, and an Ominous Key to unlock the Ominous Vault. In order to up the difficulty, you're going to need to drink one of Minecraft 1.21's new potions called the Ominous Bottle, which also changes raids as well. There is so much here. These are the new potions that you'll be able to find or experience dropped on you in an Ominous Trial. From the Ominous Trial, you'll win this new item called a Heavy Core. Take a Heavy Core over to a crafting table with a Breeze Rod, the Breeze's new drop, and you'll be able to make a Minecraft 1.21 mace. It's so wonderful and really dangerous. The mace is all about fall damage. The further you fall, the more damage your hit will do, and when you land, it'll cancel all fall damage. That means if you can fall from a really high height and actually land your hit, you could take a lot of different mobs out in one hit, like the Warden. The mace is also going to have some brand new enchantments as well. They're pretty cool. Now, once 1.21 actually fully releases, I will have an in-depth video just like this one going over all of the features in much more detail. But last but not least, for today, we have the new skeleton variant called the Bug. The Bug spawns in swamps or certain trial chambers and shoots poison arrows. And to be honest, this might be the most dangerous mob in all of the trial chambers. So Minecraft 1.20.5, the Dillos and Dogs update, what do you think about it? What's your favorite edition? You call it down below, and thank you all so much for watching. Tap like and subscribe, and tap that join button for more info on the world download. Like I mentioned earlier, at some point I'll have a Bedrock 1.20.80 update video out soon, so stay tuned. Until next time, it's been me, Waddles. So go have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.